All right, well, you can't have an action sports and culture conference without dedicating some serious time to skateboarding. And it just so happens that there's some news breaking in the industry, so we're turning to two experienced industry veterans to come on and give us some more insight. So I want to welcome Don Brown and Mark Waters. Guys, thanks for making time to talk to us today.
What's up, Rob? How you doing?
I'm doing well. So just in case there's one or two people watching who don't know both of you, why don't you just briefly remind everyone of who you are and what you've done in the industry, and then maybe tell us where you're broadcasting from today.
Cool. My name is Don Brown, and I am the chairman of the board for IASC, and I'm also the chief brand strategist for Soul Technology, which is Acme's Ass America 32 snow boots. And yeah, actually today is my 29th year of being at Soul Tech, and been skateboarding for a long ass time.
Amazing.
And I'm actually I'm at home right now in Costa Mesa, California.
Cool.
And I'm Mark Waters. I'm in Santa Ana, and I did 15 years at Soltech with Don. I've been team manager at several places, marketing manager, events marketing manager, done a lot of events from ground level stuff and small grassroots events like the Game of Skate, Wild in the Streets, Go Skateboarding Day, all the way up to big 150,000 person music festivals. So that's sort of kind of my specialty, but really love the part about kind of giving back, especially, to kids who need it. So here with IASC and Go Skateboarding Foundation.
So you guys were just saying there's some fairly big news kind of breaking. What's going on?
So IASC originated in the the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was just really to bring the industry together to just have a voice when it comes to things like trade shows or non-endemic things such as bigger events. Like today we're looking at things like the Olympics, and just to have a voice and a point kind of group that people can come to get answers that can represent the industry. So IASC is built, it's a non-profit, and it's put together industry leaders, presidents, VPs, marketing directors, just to have a different perspective on what's going on out there. And it's really to help promote skateboarding. So we've done events such as Go Skateboarding Day. What was it now, Mark? Did you say 19 years?
16
years ago, Skateboarding Day. So Go Skateboarding Day has become one of the biggest days for skateboarding in the world, which is pretty amazing to see the energy every year. And then just in kind of the sense of increasing participation for skateboarding, as Mark was mentioning, just the whole skate park push and just fighting to for the law for AB 1296, I think it is, the hazardous recreation law. Just to basically put the risk more on the individual versus the city. So that opened up a whole boom of skate parks from that. And then the other thing is education. So just we put together summits to just basically bring the industry together as a whole and network and learn and just kind of just have a good time in a way, just bring the family together, because it's an important part of skateboarding is just having everyone together and talking and communicating.
Obviously, these are all great initiatives, and IASC has played an important role in the industry now for years. Where is this moving to right now? Is there a transition happening?
So for IASC right now, it's the industry has evolved and developed, and trade shows used to be a big part of what IASC really built its kind of foundation from, and now trade shows are a little bit up in the air with kind of how things have evolved and how people are doing business, that we wanted to put things more on the front end of things. So we're going to change IASC, which is International Association of Skateboard Companies, and we're going to change it to the Go Skateboarding Foundation. So we're still going to have the key focuses of Go Skateboarding Day and the Skateboarding Hall of Fame ceremony, and we're still going to be bringing the industry together. We're going to have a new initiative called Hill Flip, which is going to be there to stand up for and help support skateboarders in need that may have had a serious injury and don't have the funds to pay for it. So yeah, we're excited about the new direction and just having a fresh face and just having more of a call to action of just, go skateboarding. That's what it's all about for us at the end of the day.
So that need will still be filled. There'll still be this, community, organization kind of that people can come together and work together on, just kind of under a different name.
Exactly.
Well, and really it's about participation and education and promoting skateboarding, but rather than from the viewpoint of the brands and what do the brands need, it's more about philanthropy and helping the industry give back, as well as being, I think, a better resource than we've been. So much more about giving back.
Cool. And how will it be run? Will it be like a volunteer board of directors of, industry heavyweights? Will there be someone to facilitate stuff, or what's the plan for that?
Absolutely. There will be a small contingent of people who've been involved in IASC, but we're also focusing on making the volunteer board of directors younger and kind of more relevant. And also looking to expand eventually to people who are on the periphery of skateboarding rather than in the industry, just to get a wider viewpoint and be able to do, I think, more effective fundraising and more effective spreading the word.
It all makes sense. You mentioned how important the education side is, and just getting numbers, helping everyone run their businesses. Have some new numbers come out recently as far as participation that might back up what people have been hearing, and seeing with the amount of people out skating?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Don, if you want to.
Yeah. So we're in interesting times. Obviously, we've had like a lot of things happen this year. It seems like every month we've had some kind of a catastrophe happen, and definitely interesting times for skateboarding, because the beginning of COVID, everyone thought, oh my God, everything's going to crash and business is going to be challenging. People are going to go out of business. But we've actually seen the opposite, where we've actually seen more energy and excitement for skateboarding than we've ever seen before. As far as just overall excitement awareness, like we're seeing that the year-over-year growth versus last year is about 20-25% more each month. We've got more information that we can talk about in a little bit that Action Watch has provided us, which is really good. Everyone we're talking to in hard goods right now, and this is globally, so whether it's in Europe, Australia, Japan, everyone's talking about there's a shortage of boards right now and veneers for the boards. We even had one person tell us that there's a backlog of about 10 million wheels right now, that there's such a big shortage of skateboarding components right now. So you can just see that the demand is much bigger than the supply right now. So everyone's trying to catch up right now and kind of get what they can. I mean, I was talking to Mike Taylor over at Powell a little while ago, and he was saying about how people are just calling him saying, I don't care, like, here's 10 grand, just give me whatever you can. We've heard the same thing at Bodford, Dwindle, and other skate hard goods companies out there. It's like a frenzy to get whatever you can.
That's actually what's happening at a number of places, where, if you place an order at Deluxe, they're basically grabbing, if you say you want 18 boards, they're just grabbing 18 boards and assortment and shipping them to you.
Yeah.
And a lot of the distributors are saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Also, creative. Sorry, Don. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say everyone's cleared out of any kind of old inventory they may have. It's all gone. So it's pretty amazing what's happening in skateboarding as far as the industry. We're also seeing a huge boom in like just the overall ethnic diversity. Obviously, the Black Lives Matter thing really made a big statement when when everything's coming through on that level. People are way more open-minded right now with the whole, as far as the just non-gender like bias, the whole LGBTQ kind of movement. It's just like skateboarding is so open-minded. It always has been, but now it's just on a whole nother level of just how open everyone is to just every gender and every ethnicity. And that's what we love about skateboarding.
Can we share some numbers with you?
Yeah, let's definitely, when we go back, I want to talk more about, the idea of skateboarding becoming more welcoming as well. But yeah, everyone loves data. Let's check out some of that Action Watch data to support what everyone's talking about. That'd be great.
So this first slide is annual participation, and the rate of people who are claiming to participate in skateboards ages 6 and up as a percentage of the US population. What we're seeing with all of these numbers is a continuation of a trend that had started in early 2019 and continued, and then took a big, another big leap in April of 2020 as COVID kind of hit, but then people started understanding what they could and couldn't do. So from April to August of 2019, there was 6.6 million skateboarders, or people who participated in skateboarding, which is 2.5% of the total population. For that same period in 2020, it jumped to 3.4%. So 9 million people or so claimed participation in skateboarding. Now that could mean, daily, 6 or 7 days a week, or, they had a skateboard and rode it once in a while. But that's a huge jump in numbers over, the same 5-month period. And that was actually after, the numbers had been up, and that was adjusted for population growth.
That's also that all that data you mentioned is from the USA, but we're seeing we don't have the data globally, but what we are hearing from everyone around the world that this is a similar situation where they're just seeing more and more growth across the board.
And again, backing up not only the trends, but the anecdotal information that I think most people are aware of. This next slide is new participants and what Action Watch called from unlikely sources. So the first data set is participation last year, April through August. 66% of the people who skateboarded were male and 34% female. As of this year, for 2020, the number of males represented only 64% of the total population, or the total participants, and 36% of the participants were female.
Some good news there, especially with the new participants as well, in addition to just more participants. So is that, there's reason to believe there that, some of that's sustainable? I mean, how then as business leaders, how are people looking to forecast that? Is there reason, to believe that we can, keep these new participants, and this is looking at, growth overall that we're going to sustain versus just, when everything kind of, goes back and people start doing other things, they go and do other stuff?
That's one of that's probably the industry's biggest challenge, is how do we make sure we can keep these new entrants or the new participants and make sure they can grow with us for the long term and not just come in and then kind of bail out. So we definitely have to dig into that.
Right. I think the other, kind of cool point that you were touching on already, Don, earlier, is that, we're looking at those stats. It seems like, there's different types of skaters coming in too. And I just want to circle back on the idea of skateboarding becoming more welcoming and not being so exclusive all the time and only one thing. It's like, it was just too cool and you had to be a certain way. And now, I mean, is that what you're seeing? You feel like there's more people coming in because it's more inviting and more things are accepted, all different types of skating?
Well, a lot of it is because a lot of the team sports have been really challenged, because obviously you can't really operate in big groups anymore. So it's like more about the individual sports. It's also in line with the micro-mobility trend right now, which basically people are using skateboards as transportation to get from A to B instead of using public transportation. So we're just seeing just a big kind of growth in that kind of individualism of transport, and just being able to have fun outside your house without having to play with, against other people in a team sport.
I think the other thing that's very interesting is that there have always been skateboarders who have participated in, all these different styles, of skateboarding: downhill, riding pools, riding freestyle, vert jump ramps, whatever. But what we're seeing is that all of these forms have been accepted, or at least significantly more accepted as seen in the public eye. It's no longer, if you ride a shaped board, even 10 years ago, that was kind of like a weird thing, it's not even an issue anymore. And freestylers are getting, a lot of props from, well-known, whatever, traditional core industry skaters on Instagram, that kind of thing. So it all seems to be appreciated, and that, so it's sort of, the diversity is not just there. It's not that it's getting more diverse, it's that the diversity is really being accepted as well.
Nice. You said, both of you guys have done a lot to give back with your involvement with IASC and now the transition to Go Skateboarding Foundation, and you'll continue to do that. I wanted to, as we kind of wrap here, I want to give you both an opportunity just to think as individuals in the skate industry too, just maybe share, kind of a closing thought on what you think in general, the industry needs right now with where we stand, given the information we're seeing, some good, some, uncertain, what do you feel like we need right now?
Kind of as we mentioned earlier is, what we need to is how are we going to keep these new participants and new people who are new to skateboarding here for the long term. And, is it about, I know it's kind of gone through this before in skateboarding, sometimes should someone who's new to skateboarding, seeing Nigel jump down a 30-stair rail just kind of turns them off because it's so above and beyond that it's like, it kind of scares them. But that's where there's things like penny boards or long boards that everyone can do. You can cruise, you can just have fun and have a good time. And it's kind of like having that like kind of system to where, you can get up to Nigel's level if you really want to, but then you don't have to, you can just cruise. So I think it's going to be how we as an industry communicate to the marketplace. You don't have to be jumping down 30 stairs. You can just cruise on a skateboard and have a good time.
Well, I really, want to thank, both of you guys again for the time. This is a conversation that we all look forward to continuing. It's, never going to end, but, now using the Go Skateboarding Foundation as a platform to move forward. But for your time today and sharing the update, thank you both. Appreciate it.